Let us for a few moments meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the happiness of the whole humanity. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some of the teachings taken from Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel. The topic which I am dealing with is profound teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. When you come to Sri Ramakrishna, everything should be practical. And in all his teachings, Sri Ramakrishna emphasizes this fact. Be practical in your spiritual application. One will have to undergo spiritual practices for sufficient time, then only spiritual life begins. Simply thinking spiritual ideas, not paying importance to the practical aspect of them, I mean application of those ideas, you will not have started spiritual life at all. So Sri Ramakrishna tells at the outset that one will have to do practice earnestly with great zeal. So, doing spiritual practices is of utmost importance in our human life. This human life is meant for practicing spirituality, not for anything else. So, once we start doing practices, then at the right time, things happen. So there's a great time factor in spiritual life. Sri Ramakrishna was standing for a while by the side of the Nahabat in Dakshineshwar Kali temple. He was on his way back to his room, returning from the pine grove. He saw Master Mahashaya sitting on the veranda of the Nahabat behind the fence. Sri Ramakrishna, by the by, looked at him and found that M was absorbed in meditation. And Sri Ramakrishna said, "Hello, you are here." Then Sri Ramakrishna tells him, "You will get results soon. If you practice a little, then someone will come forward to help you." Sri Ramakrishna said further, "The time is ripe for you. The mother bird doesn't break the shell of the egg until the right time arrives." Now M was ever eager to come to Sri Ramakrishna day and night and hear the blessed words from the Master's lips. M constantly dwelt on certain of Sri Ramakrishna's sayings. Sri Ramakrishna had said, "One can certainly see God through the practice of spiritual disciplines. The vision of God is the only goal of human life." Sri Ramakrishna said to him, "You are my own. You are my very own. You belong to me. Otherwise, why should you come here so frequently?" So every word of Sri Ramakrishna has a great significance from spiritual point of view. So, Sri Ramakrishna is repeatedly telling us to perform spiritual practices without giving any excuse, without giving any reasons. Just keep doing things. Pay full attention to spiritual practices. Be fully aware of what you are doing, and at the right time things will happen. Nothing happens except at the proper time. That's what Sri Ramakrishna has said very clearly. Another devotee, his name was Shirish. He came to see Sri Ramakrishna You see, some of these devotees, they put questions to Sri Ramakrishna. These questions are very common, and even today people ask the same questions. So, this question-answer dialogue has tremendous impact upon the spiritual seekers. This devotee Shirish asked Sri Ramakrishna, Master, we don't have time to pray to God. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, well, that's true. Nothing comes to pass except at the right time. Going to bed, a child said to his mother, Mother, please wake me up when I feel the call of nature. My son, said the mother, that urge itself will wake you up. I don't have to wake you. It's all decided beforehand by God, what each one shall receive. So under these circumstances, what you should do, what you can do is only to surrender yourself totally at the feet of God. What else can you do? Give him the power of attorney. Let him do whatever he thinks best. If you rely on a great man, he will never injure you. All these teachings are given in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And again Sri Ramakrishna tells, an action cannot fail to produce its result. Your stomach will certainly burn if you eat hot chili. It is God who has ordained that chili will burn your stomach. How nicely Sri Ramakrishna gives the simile. In the same way, if you commit a sin, you must bear its fruit. But one who has attained perfection, one who has realized God, cannot commit sin. Again Sri Ramakrishna gives another simile. An expert singer cannot sing a false note. A person with a trained voice sings the notes correctly. Sarigama Padani. Nicely, correctly he sings them. And then again Sri Ramakrishna said to another devotee, who was totally transformed by coming in contact with Sri Ramakrishna and talking to him a few times. Of course, the time was ripe for this Pandit. His name was Pandit Shashadhar, a great Pandit, a great scholar of the time. The time was ripe for him to transform. The very fact that he came to Sri Ramakrishna meant the time was ready. So Sri Ramakrishna was talking to him. He taught him many things. In course of his dialogue, he said, well, Pandit, you may impart thousands of instructions to people, but they will not bear fruit except in proper time. See, all these teachings are pointing out how time factor is very important in spiritual life. Even in worldly life also time factor is important. What to speak of spiritual life? Then Sri Ramakrishna tells the mind of a worldly person is no doubt like muddy water. But it can be made clear by a purifying agent. What is that purifying agent? Discrimination and renunciation are the purifying agent. But nothing will happen except at the right time. What can quinine do for a fever patient when he runs a high temperature? Only when his temperature comes down through the use of fever mixture or a purgative should quinine be prescribed. There are patients who get rid of their fever even without quinine. Then Sri Ramakrishna tells, different kinds of people come here. Some came by boat with the devotees, but they didn't enjoy spiritual talk. They kept nudging their friends and whispering, when shall we leave here? When are we going? If the friends showed no sign of getting up, they would say, we would rather wait for you in the boat. Then they would go away. That means the time is not ripe for them to receive spiritual instructions, to hear spiritual talk, to be in holy association. Just the time is not ripe for them. Those who have a human body for the first time, Sri Ramakrishna is telling this. Those who have a human body for the first time need the experience of sense enjoyments. Spiritual consciousness is not awakened unless certain duties have been performed. So Sri Ramakrishna is pointedly telling us things happen at the correct time. You can't simply force the time to happen in your own way. It won't work. It won't work. It may even spoil all your undertakings. If you force the time, then it is required. There are instances which show how true in his teaching Sri Ramakrishna was. Hriday, who was a personal attendant of Sri Ramakrishna during the years of the Master's wide-ranging quest of God, once in a passing mood of dispassion, Hriday implored the Master to confer on him rare spiritual experiences. Sri Ramakrishna told him, don't aspire for that right now. Your role is now to serve me. And that alone would bring fulfillment to you. How Sri Ramakrishna very clearly tells him, serve him, he would get everything, he would get fulfillment. Just serve him. Don't expect anything. Concentrate upon doing service properly, attentively, with full awareness, with love and devotion. You will get everything. But Hriday would not listen to Sri Ramakrishna's advice. He was pestering. Then finally Sri Ramakrishna, in his kindness, said, well, let the mother's will be done. Soon after, Hriday did have visions and divine states of absorption. But these experiences made him abnormal. And he felt so uncomfortable. And he was not really ready for such high spiritual states. So he had to fall back from his incursions into the mystic. Another instance, when Swami Vivekananda was coming to Sri Ramakrishna in his younger days as Narendranath, once he was made to experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi, because he was also asking Sri Ramakrishna to give him that experience, though the time was not ripe at the moment. Then finally he got by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, but then he was terribly frightened. Swami Vivekananda, of that gigantic will and strong mind, he was frightened to have that experience. He was feeling something totally different, and he was not ready for that. And Sri Ramakrishna, when he came to know that he was shouting to come to his normal state of consciousness, Sri Ramakrishna remarked, well, he wanted to have that experience. Let him be in that state for a while. He'll be all right afterwards. So why I am giving all these instances is that unless the proper time comes, you should not simply force it. Let it come in a proper time, it will be wonderful, and you will enjoy it also nicely. Another great devotee, Madhur Babu, was taking care of Sri Ramakrishna's needs. He was also in a state of unpreparedness to stand higher experiences. He also insisted Sri Ramakrishna to give him that experience of samadhi. He got it by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna. But again, Mathur Babu could not stand it for a long time. He prayed repeatedly to Sri Ramakrishna that he might be restored to his old state. There's one more instance I want to give you. One Vaikuntanath Sanyal, who was blessed with Bhava Samadhi by Sri Ramakrishna's grace on the famous Kalpataru day, January 1st. But Sanyal too was unable to contain the mood. He began to weep and cry to the master to put him back into his ordinary consciousness. He really didn't want that high state now for the time being. So, it is very necessary to develop a highly sattvic nature to be able to establish in such high spiritual experiences. So we must hit upon cultivating the highest sattvic quality in our nature. Then only we will be able to contain and enjoy the supreme peace and bliss of that high state of samadhi. Then you would love to be in that state. You will not be frightened at all, because your mind is totally purified and it is stable in that high sattvic quality. So that is the correct time when a person could get the realization of God. So nothing happens except at the proper time. Time factor in spiritual life is very important. As Sri Ramakrishna suggested, we must concentrate totally, fully in doing spiritual practices without giving any excuses. We must be very firm and determined to do spiritual practices daily. Then only you'll be able to purify all the bad samskaras in the mind. So, God has given this human life to work for that, not to waste this life in other things. Whatever you may call, if the mind is not going towards God, that means that moment of your life is waste. So, coming to Sri Ramakrishna, you have to be practical, and he makes you practical. In being practical, you will enjoy the glory of spirituality. Page 744. I practiced all sorts of sadhana. There are three classes of sadhana: sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. In the sattvic sadhana, the devotee calls on the Lord with great longing or simply repeats his name. He doesn't seek any result in return. See how nicely Sri Ramakrishna points out. The rajasic sadhana prescribes many rituals: Purashcharan, pilgrimage, Panchatapa, worship with 16 articles and so forth. The tamasic sadhana is a worship of God with the help of tamas. The attitude of a tamasic devotee is this: Hail Kali, what? Wilt thou not reveal thyself to me? If not, I will cut my throat with a knife. In this discipline, one doesn't observe conventional purity. It is like some of the disciplines prescribed by the Tantra. During my sadhana period, I had all kinds of amazing visions. I distinctly perceived the communion of Atman. A person exactly resembling me entered my body and began to commune with each one of the 6 lotuses. The petals of these lotuses had been closed, but as each of them experienced the communion, the drooping flower, the drooping flower bloomed and turned itself upward. Thus blossomed forth the lotuses at the centers of Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna and Sahasrara. The drooping flowers turned upward. I perceived all these things directly. When I meditated during my sadhana, I used to think of the unflickering flame of a lamp set in a windless place. In deep meditation, a man is not at all conscious of the outer world. A hunter was aiming at a bird. A bridal procession passed along beside him, with the groom's relatives and friends, music, carriages, and horses. It took a long time for the procession to pass the hunter, but he was not at all conscious of it. He did not know that the bridegroom had gone by. A man was angling in a lake all by himself. After a long while, the float began to move. Now and then its tip touched the water. The angler was holding the rod right in his hands, ready to pull it up, when a passer-by stopped and said, "Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Banerjee lives?" There was no reply from the angler, who was just on the point of pulling up the rod. Again and again the stranger said to him in a loud voice, "Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Banerjee lives?" But the angler was unconscious of everything around him. His hands were trembling, his eyes fixed on the float. The stranger was annoyed and went on. When he had gone quite away, the angler's float sank under water, and with one pull of the rod he landed the fish. He wiped the sweat from his face with his towel, and he wiped the sweat from his face with his towel and shouted after the stranger. "Hey," he said, "come here. Listen." But the man would not turn his face. After much shouting, however, he came back and said to the angler, "Why are you shouting at me? What did you ask me about?" Said the angler. The stranger said, "I repeated the question so many times, and now you are asking me to repeat it once more?" The angler replied, "At that time my float was about to sink, so I didn't hear a word of what you said." A person can achieve such single-mindedness in meditation that he will see nothing, hear nothing. He will not be conscious even of touch. A snake may crawl over his body, but he will not know it. Neither of them will be aware of the other. In deep meditation, the sense organs stop functioning. The mind doesn't look outward. It is like closing the gate of the outer court in a house. There are 5 objects of the senses: form, taste, smell, touch and sound. They are all left outside. At the beginning of meditation, the objects of the senses appear before the aspirant. But when the meditation becomes deep, they no longer bother him. They are left outside. How many things I saw during meditation! I vividly perceived before me a heap of rupees, a shawl, a plate of sweets, and 2 women with rings in their noses. "What do you want?" I asked my mind. "Do you want to enjoy any of these things?" "No," replied the mind. "I don't want any of them. I don't want anything but the lotus feet of God." I saw the inside and the outside of the women. as one sees from outside the articles in a glass room. I saw what is in them: entrails, blood, filth, worms, phalgum, and such things. Girish Chandra Ghosh used to say now and then that he could cure illness by the strength of the Master's name. Master said to Girish and the other devotees, people of small intellect seek occult powers, powers to cure disease, win a lawsuit, walk on water, and such things. But the genuine devotees of God don't want anything except his lotus feet. One day Hriday said to me, Uncle, please ask the mother for some powers, some occult powers. I have the nature of a child. While I was practicing japa in the Kali temple, I said to Kali, Mother, Hriday asked me to pray to you for some occult powers. The Divine Mother at once showed me a vision. A middle-aged prostitute, about 40 years old, appeared and sat with her back to me. She had large hips and wore a black bordered sari. Soon she was covered with filth. The mother showed me that occult powers are as abominable as the filth of that prostitute. Thereupon I went to Hriday and scolded him, saying, Why did you teach me such a prayer? It is because of you that I had such an experience. People with a little occult power gain such things as name and fame. Many of them want to follow the profession of Guru, gain people's recognition, and make disciples and devotees. Men say of such a Guru, he is having a wonderful time. How many people visit him? He has many disciples and followers. His house is overflowing with furniture and other things. People give him presents. He has such power that he can feed many people if he so desires. The profession of a teacher is like that of a prostitute. It is the selling of oneself for the trifle of money, honor, and creature comforts. For such insignificant things, it is not good to prostitute the body, mind, and soul, the means by which one can attain God. A man once said about a certain woman, she is having a grand time now. She is so well off. She has rented a room and furnished it with a couch, a mat, pillows, and many other things. And how many people she controls? They are always visiting her. In other words, the woman has now become a prostitute. Therefore, her happiness is unbounded. Formerly, she was a maid servant in a gentleman's house. Now she is a prostitute. She has ruined herself for a mere trifle. We shall stop here. You are invited to ask questions. Or comments.
You mentioned the factor of time. The time factor is very...
Correct. Yeah, you can't force the time. It's just like there's a fruit in the mango plant. Before it is ripened, if you just pluck it, it will not taste good. It will sour, and you won't feel actually the taste of the mango at all. But if you take when it is fully ripened, then the taste is wonderful and you love to have again and again. It is just like that. So you have to wait for the time, and anything forced upon before the time will have adverse effect. Desired effect will not come. So also, When you're doing spiritual practice, you have to do it properly, correctly, and then wait for the result. Simply keep doing. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Sri Ramakrishna told him that Hriday, just serve me. You will get everything, you will get fulfillment. He's telling so directly, by serving me, you will get everything. Why do you want a samadhi now? Don't ask for it, it will come. But he was insisting. So, Sri Ramakrishna is pointing out to him, your role is to serve me. Just do that. You will get things. So nothing happens except at the proper time. That is the theme of my today's gospel class. Now, that spiritual attitude must be there. With that spiritual attitude, if you serve, then you will get everything without your asking, it will come. Just like if the plant grows properly, the fruits, they come by themselves. Plenty of fruits will be there. It's just like that. So serving is one of the ways of getting into God. It's called, it's a very good Sanskrit word is there. In Vaishnava philosophy, they call it as Kainkarya Seva, Kainkarya. And Kainkarya means his whole object is to serve. It doesn't deviate from that ideal. Serving wholly, wholeheartedly, with body, mind and soul. Just as Hanuman served Ramchandra, just as Lakshman served Sri Ramchandra. In the beginning, Lakshman was a little agitating when Sri Ramchandra was asked to go to forest. But afterwards, because he got a full opportunity to serve Sri Ramchandra, and the time was over when Sri Ramchandra was to return, and he was, why Sri Ramchandra has to go back now? It would have been nice if he stayed a little more time. Like the day, Lakshman is telling that. That means he was so much influenced by serving, and he got so much benefit of serving. So, it's a very great spiritual ideal. People think, simply by serving do we get, like that. See, it all depends upon the attitude and the sincerity and faith. You must have faith. Without faith, it cannot work. You must have faith. And while doing, the faith also develops. The blind faith becomes real faith. And real faith leads to vision of God. So like that. So if you have that attitude in the mind, I am serving God, then wholeheartedly do that, you will get things done. That means mind gets purified and you will be ready. Sri Ramakrishna says, when you are ready, somebody will come and help you. So that is a divine law. Divine law. If somebody is ready, God takes full responsibility. Yes, he needs a guide. He needs a guru. Immediately it sends the guru. So like that. Shall close. We shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, They think in his name that both are weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous reign tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.